All right, guys, it's been a hot minute. We are at Sam Owens right now, and we have a surprise interview coming up today. And it's a little crazy right here right now. The hometown boys came home, and they have a big following, and the bar is absolutely packed. So as of right now, we are on their schedule, waiting for them, and see what happens.
Been lit, boy. Everything goes.
We now return you to regular programming.
All right, guys, we're at Sam Owens, and we have the Nasty Boys with us. We have Brian Knobs and Jerry Sags. And guys, who do you have with you?
Wait a minute. You're going to not introduce the greatest wrestler in Northern New Jersey.
Well, Brian just said
Mr. Anderson. He has a Doritos commercial and a Skittles commercial. He's in the Wrestler with Mickey Rourke and many other things you don't even know who you're talking to.
That's
know
right.
What? Drew, smack him around.
Well, Brian said he was going to introduce him, but that's fine. Anyway, what got you guys interested in starting wrestling?
If you want to just make it short and sweet, Sags got kicked out of college. I kind of got released from the Army. We got back in the hometown of Lehigh Valley and started, doing a lot of crazy stuff. And then Matt Millen, those who don't know who he is, 4 Super Bowl rings for the Oakland Raiders, LA Raiders, Washington Redskins, and also the San Francisco 49ers. He knew our parents very well. He took us out of his house and he said, if you guys don't straighten up, you'll wind up in jail. So he said, why don't you try that pro wrestling? And we thought it was, a good idea. So we went and bothered George the Animal Steel when they were doing television tapings in Allentown.
Oh, I remember him.
And, and then he sent us up to Vern Gagne's, and the rest is history.
Yeah, I remember those guys, George the Animal, Don Morocco, all of them at the Allentown Fairgrounds. I remember that. And what got you interested in it?
I was bouncing. I was an investment banker. I graduated at St. Peter's University with a degree in business administration. I was bouncing on the weekends to meet chicks, and in comes walking Jimmy Superfly Snuka, and he wound up training me. And 26 years later, I'm with these guys.
That's awesome. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh, that's a great thing, man. I love these guys. They're crazy as fuck, but you know what? They're the best.
Hey, can the microphone hear this?
Probably.
No, I gotta smell that. Jesus Christ!
Oh my God, that was you before the fucking. Oh my
God! Up the whole bar before.
It was like it had like a tail. It was like surrounding.
No, that
the
wasn't
place.
me before.
That was you.
That's the first shit I took.
Oh yeah,
my God.
right. Please.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, what's with you guys with the? We got Cowboys. And
We gotta represent my Saints.
Is Drew Brees okay?
Yeah, he's good. He's doing good.
Nice. All right.
Not last week. This week though, but they had the Bucks, so that don't say much. We live in Tampa, so.
Yeah.
Now, did you always want to be a tag team duo together?
We got in together, and there's no. Back in the day, they really put a veteran with a young guy. But it so happens to go that we were friends since 10 years old, and when we got in, we went into the school together, Vern Gagne's school in AWF in Minnesota, and me and him started to drive the ring truck. Then we refereed. We did every gauntlet you could do, and it kind of taught us the business. And then we happened to be put together,
Bill. Hey, I want to add to that. Now listen, I believe in a thing called fate, and I got this area we're in right now. I don't know if anybody out there in podcast land knows. We're in Whitehall, Copley area. The big name that just came from here is Barkley, of course. Matt Millen, I grew up with Hockendockwood's right down the street. But I got cut off my baseball team when I was like 9 years old. And I wandered up to Styles here, which is part of Whitehall, and went on the team. Who do I meet but Knobs and my buddy Joe Lorenz and some other of our buddies. And Knobs took me home, and I met his Grammy. And he says, Grammy, this is Sags. She goes, Sags. And he goes, well, his last name's Saganovich. And she looked at me for a while, really stared at me, but his grandmother goes, are you Stevie Saganovich's son? I went, the grandson? I went, yeah. She goes, and a big smile came across her face, because her, Knobs' grandfather, and then we never knew it, and what brought us together, and my grandfather were best friends, and they rode old Harleys in the 30s to the cement mills and steel mills where they worked.
Yeah.
And they were friends. And his grandpop died early on in his late 30s on a motorcycle, and he was gone. And she raised a family, but it brought a smile, like, oh my God, Stevie Sagano, which is his grandson, and my grandson.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact his Grammy knew that her husband, his grandfather, was exactly like Knobs.
Yeah.
Okay? Crazy, fucking nuts, nasty. They were the nasty boys before the nasty boys in the area. And that's, to me, that's fate. And that we were playing.
Photobomb.
We were playing.
That's a mic, not a camera.
That's one of our.
I jerk off.
That's one of
Yeah,
our.
that's
hey,
one of our friends.
That's one of our. That's one of our drunken fucking buddies. We do this all the time. They can't tell the difference between a microphone and a camera.
That just shows you how smart we are up here.
But anyway, long story short, the fate brought me and Knobs together. We've never separated since, and that's what makes a true tag team.
Yeah.
Hawk and Animal, the Steiners, Booker T and Stevie, Davey and Dynamite,
They were
Brant and
related
Anvil,
brothers, you know?
and
Yeah,
you're the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
They in a real tag team, like all the guys you mentioned. You finish your partner's sentence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just comes like that, and you work. It's a natural thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's old school tag team wrestling. And that's why that's what really means it.
And you guys
Drew
want
knows
to
that.
you guys want to take me under your wing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm sort of like the adopted bastard child.
Now for all three of you guys, physically in the ring, how hard is that? You know, there's some people that think that's.
Well, I'm
it's
sitting
just-
here with a cane right now, so you want to ask any more questions? I mean, no, it's a physical beating.
Yeah.
And if you've been in the business longer than 5 years, it takes a toll on you. I don't give a crap what people say about the ring.
Yeah.
It's metal. There's just a little bit of padding. It don't give as much as everybody thinks.
Yeah.
And just taking a body slam. I mean, think about 34 years me and Sag's been in it. So and steel chairs are real.
Yeah.
Going through tables are real. Now they kind of, cut them and this and that. But back when we were doing it, everything was old school. And so instead of the tinny trash cans, we were using cast iron trash cans. We were getting concussions, but if you didn't wrestle, you didn't get paid.
Yeah.
So you wrestled with all kind of injuries, and you never thought about it. And back then we were young, so we didn't care. But now, when I'm 56, I'm going, damn, I should have maybe took better care of myself.
Yeah.
Almost like what Mickey Mantle says.
Yeah.
Work through the injuries. We work through the injuries. Like right now, look, Knobs just had a knee replacement. I mean, he went through hell.
Yeah.
And Jerry
But
had.
beyond all that shit,
Yeah.
the thing is,
We're
look
family.
at it. Me and
We're
Knobs
family.
came up at a different school, and Drew is a different deal because he was on his own, Northern New Jersey kid, and he busted his balls, but he's the best self-promoter of Drew, of himself, than anybody ever seen. If I would hire somebody to promote the Nasty Boys, it'd be Drew, the promoter, because he's the best self-promoter. I'm talking about Drew. What else? He's done commercials for Skittles and Doritos, and he's had
He's done movies.
movie
Sneaky
parts,
Pete, the
and I'm
wrestler.
over and
He has
over.
a
Tell
new
him all
movie
the
coming
stuff.
out. What's the new
Blade and Blood. It's Blade and Blood, a J.D. Glasscock novel, which was Glasscock.
Have another double.
Hey, you talking about me? I got a glass cock.
You got a glass dildo.
No, that's my nose.
A great movie. It's more like it's a more
Drew,
like,
can we come to the Academy Award party when you win?
Absolutely, man.
And the best thing about it is he really don't have no speaking parts.
No, actually, I'm in a lot of the movie. I play a character called Crank. It's like a futuristic western. It's like, it's really a good dramatic role for me for a change. I always play either a wrestler, a vampire, a werewolf, or a zombie, or a fucking abusive father, or something like that, where I can play the heavy.
Me and Sags always remember, Mike, did you ever see his Skittles commercial?
People go.
Neither did anybody else.
And people-
Now, this is a question for all of you. How much work does it take to actually, like before you go live on TV or if you're at your event, how much work do you put into your matches? Like training,
Well,
like working with
you
the team?
think that you're talking about television. We're trained you're a lot of people now with the smart people thinking they know the business and different stuff like that. But the way we were brought up, you're trained to work and wrestle the way we do, and there ain't no big session of going over everything and planning every goddamn move and all that stuff. It's an old thing. Kurt Hennig told us. He went up to Harley Race when he was a young kid and goes, Mr. Race, what do you want to do in the match? Harley took a big drag of his cigarette. He goes, what's your finish, kid? Kurt goes, drop tick off the top. Harley took another puff of his cigarette and said, I'll move. And that's a match. He'll move, you know, and then everything else you thought of and were trained enough to do it. Nowadays, especially on TV and that, every single thing is laid out for these young guys.
Yeah.
It's almost robotic or cookie cutter and then all the other names you want to name.
You know what else too? They all look the same. There's no variety. There's no King Kong Bundys, Abdullah the Butchers, Nasty Boys. You had Hulk Hogan. You had everybody.
Yeah.
Right now, Hulk Hogan wouldn't get a job because he's not as ripped as these kids. They don't look at the little guys. They don't look like superheroes. When I was a kid, the Nasty Boys come down the street. You knew they were wrestlers.
Yeah.
Now you can't see. You see a guy like I'm not going to say any names, but you see these kids now, they don't look like wrestlers. They look like guys like the Paperboy.
Yeah.
Well, to me too, the storyline now that's going on, it's kind of flat. You know what I mean?
Let us ask you a question. When you see, it's a Japanese style / Mexican style / lucha libre, whatever you want to call it, the non-selling and you go back and forth. Does that really get it for you?
No.
And I don't think it gets it for a lot of people, but why are they buying into that? And they're all 150 pound, 5'9" guys.
Yeah.
I'm not saying size has anything to do anything, you know, hence Rey Mysterio stands out or whatever, but it ain't about size. But when we broke into the business, we were the small guys and we were all 300 plus pounds,
Yeah.
6'4".
But the storyline, it's more PG now. It's like, I remember back in the 80s and 90s,
I tell
it
you
was...
one thing that the Nasty Boys brought about everything, and that became, and I gotta give the credit, you know, everybody chipped in on our gimmick. But we were dressed in regular wrestling stuff, and then finally when we got down to Tennessee, Jerry the King Lawler said, well, you call yourself the Nasty Boys, but you dress like you're in wrestling, because we had the wrestling gears and we didn't have the bodies of everybody else. So he said you should be more streetwise, this and that. So me and Sags thought was, oh, that's great. So cover up our body, cut our sleeves off a sweatshirt. So all we had to work on his arms. Didn't matter if you had a gut or anything because we're covering everything up.
And Drew
we
has
were
to
the
wear
first
a whole
ones.
mechanic suit because he's the shittiest body on earth.
We're a beekeeper.
He can only he bench press about 97 pounds.
But you know what I'm talking about? It was like we were the first ones to start the cover up, and before you know it, you know, Big Bossman was out there. There was this guy, that guy, and you know a lot of other guys. And then before you know it, there were people wearing actual clothes and still wrestling. But before that, it was all. You know, if you go back to Dusty Rhodes, trunks, wrestling gear. That's it. You know, and most of the people were built.
No matter how you look, they wore trunks, wore tights, or a singlet. You know?
Well, now, this is for all three of you guys. At one point in your career, you've all been the heel. You all had to be the bad guy. How tough is that outside of wrestling when you're walking down the street? Because people take this serious.
Oh, I fucking love it.
But how-
I fucking love it.
But
I
how-
fucking love it. Let them spit at me in public. I'll fucking rip their jaw off.
Have you ever been, like, challenged by anyone on
Oh,
the
yeah,
street?
every time I go to a bar. Especially when Jerry's going, Drew's the bench press champion of the world. Coach, you're trying to knock this fucking battery off his shoulder.
Hey, when something's natural and it's really you,
It's real.
You ain't acting.
Yeah.
Just
So
one
we're
thing
natural heels.
one thing you
like
learn
tonight
along
in
the
the
way,
bar,
though.
I'll probably be in 5 fights, but that's the way we are, and
one-
it's just the way we are, and the people hate us because we were good at being hated.
But one thing you learn along the way.
Roddy Piper said, listen, kid, they gotta love you or hate you. If you're in between, you're forgotten.
But if they hate you, you're kind of up here then. Because
Well, it's a hate, they love or hate.
Yeah.
It can't be like, well, you don't know. You know,
But
you gotta
one
make
thing
them-
you learn
one or
along
other.
the way, and he'll say the same thing, is you learn to deal with it. If you're the bad guy, especially nowadays, you don't touch anybody no more. Let them spit or do whatever you want to do, because If you hit somebody, it's an instant
Yes,
lawsuit.
yes.
You're
Lawsuit,
talking,
yeah.
it's talking about 50 to 100,000.
And
maybe
when
straight
Drew
out of your
walks
pocket.
out, to the ring, they see his body go. That guy's an ass. What a shitty fucking guy. They're like, that guy's a shit. And he really gets heat with his body.
Well,
his ass.
these days the only thing Sags has to work with is his ass. He farts and he clears out the ring.
But you know what's funny? We ran into Mick Foley once in public, and he said that he doesn't shake anyone's hand anymore because there's a chance someone can poison you and do something stupid like that.
Well, he's a fucking idiot.
But they take this stuff serious, you know what I mean?
Oh, he's a fucking idiot. He never had that much heat. He wished he had that much heat. We made him in our street fights. Mick Foley never had that much heat where somebody's going to poison him. He's fucking a bullshitter, and I'll smack him right now if I see him. Please.
Now, for you guys personally, when you were tag team or even when you were wrestling, were there any certain people you guys like looked up to as they
Hey,
fought?
I'm still wrestling. So Sags.
But is there anyone that you looked up to?
Right away.
Well,
you're talking about the
British
Jimmy
Bulldog.
Jimmy
Right.
Snuka. We all looked up to Jimmy
Jimmy
Snuka.
Snuka, Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper. I mean, let's go back. Let's go to Bruno Sammartino. Let's go to Pedro Morales. Let's go to Larry Zbyszko.
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on and
Mr.
on.
Fuji. We love Fuji.
Yeah. So it just goes on and on. But
Flair. We love Flair.
there's only one nature.
Yeah.
boy,
Yes,
man.
there is.
Only
Yes,
one
there
nature,
is.
boy.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
But you guys really don't get a vacation too. I mean, you're going from city to city to city. Does it ever get to a point where you're like, man, I need a break? Can you take me out of the storyline for a while? Or
Well, we're on a break right now. We're having some drinks right now at this bar right now.
Back in it's nothing like it was back in the day. Back in the day when me and him were working, not
Couldn't
Drew.
take yourself out.
Not
Okay.
true. It was
Okay.
300 days a year, and if you didn't work, you didn't get paid. If
Yeah.
you were hurt, instant pay you didn't get paid. So you had to work. You worked hurt, you worked whatever, and you just went on with the system. That was the way it was.
see, the thing I don't like about wrestling today is like you don't see the championship matches on regular TV anymore, like you used to see with The Rock and Stone Cold and all them. Now these guys are getting paid big money where they come out for like a couple minutes, they slam somebody, and that's it. You know?
Or you don't see them till the pay-per-view.
Yeah, you don't see them to the pay-per-views.
Well, what do you guys think about that?
I hate it.
Like for instance, Brock
So
Lesnar.
you guys are young guys. What do you like and not like about the business right now?
I hate the storyline for one.
Okay, so why I don't understand. I hear this. I'm not, and people think it's like because you're not there or thing. But I hear the same thing from a lot of fans all around the country and the world. Why isn't it like it used to be? Not that they want old wrestlers to come back or nothing,
Yeah.
but just good old-fashioned, real professional wrestling. And you're two young guys, and they're going, you don't like it.
Yeah.
You don't like the product.
Guys,
You watch it.
when Sags or Knobs or Hogan, they hit you with a leg drop, a power bomb, anything. You didn't kick out of that fucking thing.
Yeah.
If I hit you with a fucking clothesline, you were down. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Now everybody kicks out of shit.
We were
It's
in-
bullshit.
we
Makes
were-
everyone look weak.
Right.
Yeah.
We were in the business for 4 or 5 years, and then we got our big break with WCW.
WCW.
And nobody wanted to wrestle the Steiners. They were hurting people.
Those are big guys.
But you know, they're NCAA, University of Michigan wrestling champions. But you know what? They you go with the flow. We were barroom fighters, so when they would flip us around, we'd get up and punch them right in the face.
Yeah.
And you know what? We had the greatest matches with them. That match at Halloween Harvest got us to the WWE, and we wrestled the Hart Foundation WrestleMania 7. But you know what? And we're still best of friends with them today because it was a respect value. And all these other guys were scared of them for I don't know why, what reason, but they're the greatest guys in the world.
Listen, one of the funniest
And
things
you-
I've ever seen.
Before Drew
one of-
talks, you don't realize he's a bench pressing champion. He did 102 pounds 4 times.
Yeah.
Listen, one of the funniest things I've ever seen was at one of the Legends of Wrestling shows at thelegendsofwrestling.com. Jerry got a new tattoo on his back. He got a cross
Yeah.
on his back.
And
And
Steiner
Scott
said-
Steiner walks up to him and looks at it and goes, let me
Open
see the
hand
tattoo.
slap.
Open hand chops him right across the back. Fresh
Fresh tattoo.
tattoo. I was laughing so fucking
And I
hard.
couldn't do nothing but laugh because our buddy Steiner. You know?
So for forever, you know, now he owns a Shoney's with a bar in it. Scotty does, you know,
Yeah.
Big
In
Papa
Atlanta.
Pump.
In
Yeah.
Atlanta.
So I told him if we're ever up, we're gonna come pop in when you least expect it. Here we went to Ric Flair's surprise 70th birthday party in February, and the next day we popped in, and there he was back there actually working, making sure everything's right. And we said, "We're here, baby!" And we stayed for 8 hours. And he called Ricky up. Ricky came. It was the greatest time, man. Just, Then Buff Bagwell got mad because we didn't call him, and I was going, please, Buff.
But see, those were good wrestlers. That was good. That was a good wrestling time.
What you're talking about isn't an easy thing to change now. In the old days, the guy that got the pencil, who was the booker, you could flip things around and change the whole outlook of the televisions and territory like that. Now, it's a major process because they just want to, it's cookie cutter, they just want to produce a product. I hope that by them, I say them, the WWE, because they took the jump and went to Fox, which is a national network instead of a cable station, now they're going to be pressured to keep up ratings. They have to, and they're going to have to go out of the box, because if you're sitting there thinking what you think about professional wrestling, and that's on Fox on certain night of the week, and that means a good part of our country is thinking the same as you two young guys.
Yeah. But
they have to change what you guys don't like and make that right, or they're going to fail.
The best thing that ever happened was AEW.
Yeah,
yes, just to ask you.
But not only AEW, now TNA's got a little getting their push there again. You got NWA.
The NWA and Billy Corgan are bringing back old school wrestling.
You got Ring of Honor, but there's other places for the guys to go to wrestle. Since 2002, there hasn't been that.
When the biggest one of all, you got Gino in New Jersey and running, and he books Greg Valentine and Drew and doesn't book us.
But listen, so I'll tell you a quick story. So we're young in the business, and we're in the AWA, and they told us to take care of Jimmy, have him there at 9 in the morning for interviews, this and that. Well, at 9 in the morning, Jimmy's still sleeping.
Jimmy Snuka.
Jimmy Snuka, Superfly. So, we're not going to wake him up. So now we're an hour already late. So Jimmy lights up, came from Hawaii, lights up sparks a good one up, and like Willie Nelson, and all of a sudden, for so many times we heard him do interviews, we never understood him, but we get there, we're late, we're the first ones in the door, and Greg Gagne starts cussing us out. What are you guys doing? Like it's our fault, and Jimmy just walks in, Greg Gagne don't say nothing to him, goes, "Lovely brother," and goes in and does a hell of an interview, but nobody else understood it, but we smoked the old Willie Rocky, and we were like, that was the best interview ever.
Absolutely.
And you see a lot of guys that are leaving WWE and going to AEW. There's such a push for that because it's almost bringing back the old school
What do you
wrestling.
guys think of AEW?
I like the whole fact that
What
they're
do you
bringing
like?
the
I
old
love
school
the fact they're
matches.
bringing back the matches with the barbed wire, with the broken glass, with the stuff like that.
That goes to ECW realm, which
Yeah.
I don't really like. I just like good psychology and good quality.
My problem
old
is
school matches.
I don't like all the kicking out of the finishes.
Yeah.
I like the AEW's, the NWA studio wrestling. That is amazing. To
Yes.
me, Billy Corgan and
Who's
David
gotta
Madonna
leave now?
brought a great product
Oh, he's
back.
gonna go smoke
I
a
love
cigarette.
it.
Yeah.
Come over and say hello.
And I feel like the matches in AEW too are just a lot. There's a lot more into it. Like you
Lot
said
more
with
faster pace.
Yes.
In WWE, you see like a lot of guys kick out. I feel like it's a lot quicker too. But in AEW, there's just so much going into it. I feel like.
Well, there's other places for people to wrestle. That's the big part of
Yeah.
it. And guys, I don't want to wrap it up and cut you short, but
No, you're
I
fine.
have
We-
family here.
we appreciate
I just want to ask you
Listen,
one
right
quick
now,
question.
One
It's the
quick
glory
question.
day of
Wait
professional
up, let him
wrestling.
ask.
Just want to ask you one quick question. What was your favorite match? The match that you loved the
All right,
most, and what was
start with Drew.
and what was the
Because
least favorite?
Myself and Crowbar at the Jimmy Snuka 70th birthday party. We tore the house down. Even Mick Foley and Bill Apter and everyone said we did tables, ladders, chairs, guardrails, everything. Me and Crowbar from WCW. We killed it. That was in 2011. We totally tore it up. The next day I was in Africa and held a gunpoint.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
And me and Sag have so many, but
Well,
the one that stands
when he went
out.
to Africa, they held him at gunpoint because that match sucked so bad. He
Me and Sag, Oh, we wrestled all the greats.
Who do you think? Who do you think?
Wait a
Sag
minute.
should
Wait
fight?
a minute. Me and Sag, because of all the matches we had with so many great tag teams, Dynamite Kid, Davey Boy,
Road Warriors.
But it was the Hart Foundation, WrestleMania 7. That's when we won the belts, and that's what stamped us right there at WrestleMania 7 when we won the belts. I mean, you had, Fonzie, Henry Winkler in the audience. You had all these movie stars, Cully McLaughlin in the audience, and it was in L.A. Donald Trump's, our president was there with Marla Maples. So. You know what I mean? So, you can never push that off to the side. You know what I mean? That was the one that made us. But Steiner's, it
This
just
from
was
the
the
Nasty Boy. Sorry. I saw that pretty woman. I go, I didn't know it was your wife.
That's my wife. That's my son.
Oh, my God.
Hey,
Oh my God!
he,
My father and
brothers.
son.
hey, he was hoping, well, maybe if this works out, the Nasty Boy could be my dad.
Hey, I'm supposed to ask this question. I don't know where it's gonna go, but how's Tom Ringer doing, and are you gonna fight Ken Shamrock?
Oh,
this is
please. That's so old. It's
No.
like
Listen, this has come about again.
And who's Tom Ringer?
Don
Ringer?
I don't know.
Oh, Don Ringer. He owns that's where all the wrestlers used to go to party. He's a great guy. You know what I mean? But
Good
this is
friend of
closer
ours.
to our home. So, Bill's the man. He set us all up, Like one of my buddies are leaving right now that I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
That's why we're cutting it short.
Yeah.
We did you guys a favor. So
We appreciate it.
I'm out. I love you guys.
Thank you,
guys.
guys.
Wrap it
Wait
up.
up. Now, tell me what the question again. When you,
Are you gonna fight Ken Shamrock?
well, no, actually, believe it or not, the whole Shamrock thing's come to light again. Because we still on the
Hey,
air.
Brian, we appreciate it, Brian. Thanks, Brian.
No problem, man.
The whole thing with Ken, because of him entering TNA, who's the head guy? Scott.
You contacted the head guy.
Yeah, and I said, as soon as I see him come in, I go, there's money to be made there. You know what I mean? And I said, I never heard back from him. But now I heard he's doing this bare knuckles thing or something like that. But it would be a good opportunity for him to draw money, and I'd get into shape and I'd fight him, and he'd fight me. I know that.
You know what?
And we could hash it out.
You beat him once, you can beat him again. That's the bottom line.
Well, it was different circumstances than it being squared off in
Well,
a
let's
ring.
do it the right way.
Right, do it the right way.
Let's do it the right way.
And then, listen, what happened. I recently heard he went on the radio or something and said, I should never went to the room and broke in, and it was my fault, and that kind of stuff. Okay, and that does change the scenario of any kind of thing like that, because Tyson didn't fight someone in a hotel room.
Yeah.
It was in a boxing ring, and it was made the thing, for that event to happen. So I might get my ass kicked. I might get knocked out in 2 seconds. Vice versa. You don't know. You let in a controlled atmosphere where it's meant to be, and you're going to fight. I think people like to see it. I think that it would be interesting at our age and knowing our past. I think that it would really make money and get over.
Yeah.
So I'm not pushing for it, but I'm up to it.
Yeah.
So I've contacted Necessity people, but was it Scott Demore or the guy from Canada brings the guy from TNA? That's who I contacted when I saw him coming to TNA, but then I found out Ken's got this bare knuckles thing. Okay, well, I'll learn how to bare knuckles fight then. Let's do it.
Now, Jeff, WWE every now and then, like on pay-per-views, they bring back, like, I don't want to say older wrestlers, like they bring back wrestlers that fight in events. Would you be willing to do something like that if they ever asked you?
Oh, I could do it in a second. I'd beat the fuck out of them goddamn punks.
Yeah.
Oh, he would.
I would. I wrestle every day. I still wrestle every weekend.
Do you
I
guys-
have no
Me
problem.
and Sags are still actually on the circuit. We're out there kicking ass, and Knobs is actually going to manage us for some tag matches coming up.
And
That's awesome.
And the kids that I'll be facing, I actually feel bad because I'm 6'3.5", almost 6'4".
I'm 300
I'm 320 pounds, and I work out every day. I know what I could do. I'll rip somebody's fucking throat out. Those kids that are 5'10", 11, and 190, I'll destroy them. I'd go through the whole roster in a matter of 2 hours on TV if they let me.
Any
So
chance?
That's a God's honest truth.
That's
I'm
the
not
truth. That's
fucking
the
around.
truth.
I'm not
They
bullshit.
don't stand a chance.
I'm not bullshit, not fucking lying. I'm not saying this and that, but I know what I can do, and I just eat them alive. You know, the sad part is a lot of those kids, and which I never do to, are friends, kids of my friends that have passed away. But that would be a whole different deal because of the respect involved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, hey, I don't want to hold you guys up anymore. I know you have a big following in there, but one last question. Do you guys think these guys deserve to be in the WWE Hall of Fame?
That's not my choice. It's not something that I always say it's an honor to be there. I'm not going to say I don't give a shit.
You know, I think the Nasty Boys should be in the Hall of Fame, the WWE Hall of Fame, and the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame.
I agree.
In Wichita Falls, Texas, which is the real Wrestling Hall of Fame. I think the Nasty Boys should be in both Hall of Fames. I think Vince McMahon should really open the doors and really let them back in. And I think that's the way it should
The
go.
whole thing's a hard question because somebody that ain't in, if you say negative stuff,
Yeah.
I'd have nothing negative to say about it because I respect all the people in it.
Yeah.
They're my friends. So I'm not going to say nothing negative about it, but I'm not going to say.
Thank you very much.
I'm not going to say that I deserve to be in it. That ain't my choice. Somebody else has to say I deserve to be in it. not
Sags,
me.
I got to take a piss.
Go piss.
Well, hey, we respect what you guys
Thanks,
do,
guys.
man. Respect what you
Thank
guys
you.
do.
I already pissed in your poke, so
I believe you have.
that's why I don't have to go to the bathroom. I'm still running my mouth.
Jack and Coke.
But that's not for me to say, do I deserve it? Should I be there? I don't. Not that I don't give a shit. Not that I don't care. That's not true. It ain't my place to say I deserve for that.
Yeah.
If it happens, and it's great. But I'm not going to go and bitch and moan about people and go, we should be in it. And this.
Yeah.
Hey, that ain't my place.
Yeah.
Come on, really? It makes you look like a fucking idiot.
Yep.
Dumbass. And I'll never do that. If they think, I know what the people think. They tell me all the time.
You should be in.
But it ain't a voting thing. It's what the owners of the companies think. Hey, you want to put the Nasty Boys in this year? Well, I don't know. That's up to them. I don't, not that I don't care, but if they're ready, they're ready. Go. It's a hard question that you can't really answer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's because it's a fucked up ordeal.
Yeah.
I respect it though. Never say nothing bad about it, and would like to be there. And I'm not going to say I deserve it, because it ain't my place to say that.
Yeah.
That's for somebody else to say. You know what they did in the business, they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, and we're putting them in. Then that's for somebody else.
Absolutely.
But God bless you guys.
Hey, we
God bless
respect
you,
what you
man.
got.
Thank
We
you.
respect what you guys
Be
do,
fucking
man.
nasty. Don't ever back down from anybody. Fucking stand up for yourself. If somebody fucks with you and your family, punch them straight in the fucking face. That's what Nasty Boy says.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I don't care what the consequences are. You fucking fight the right fight.
Absolutely.
Fucking A. Love you guys. See ya.
See ya.
Right,
Thank
man.
you.
Thank
so
you.
much.